Good day, and welcome to the Budding Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Bridges. In each episode, I cover my experiences, both good and bad, of being a business owner on my own, as well as my journey through the crazy world of entrepreneurship to reach my goal of earning $1 million a year. Now, today we're going to carry on the topic that we had from Monday in our last episode. This is on prospecting. Now, we talked about lists and how to create them and where to get them and kind of pieces of the puzzle to start pulling a list together. Why do we want a list? Well, it's pretty simple. Number one, it gives us a set of targets that we can go after that we're going to use in this part of prospecting so that we break things out from different perspectives, okay? Different people have different aspects that they want to be able to focus on when they're getting your products and services and anything that you're doing. They want to focus on you once they understand who you are. And you can then use that same information to go in reverse and then retarget them for information after you've prospected them of how you might actually begin to sell them. So that was what we talked about on Monday. Today, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about sorting and segments. This is prospecting sorting. This is going to be different from email list segmentation. Email lists are how you break out information. They're built off of this prospecting list here in this segmentation. Generally speaking, the areas that we want to focus on are our VIPs, our power base. That would be our friends, family, people that we know and have dealt with. Industries. Breaking them out by industry is always good because you can prospect with a different message to one industry over another. You also want to break it out into groups. You want to break out any new contacts you have because they have less of a restriction on what they're looking to get and more of a restriction in the fact that they really don't know you very well. And finally, the next segment is the Dream 100. And if you want some information about Dream 100, head on back to episode number 73, and that'll give you a good clue as to how the Dream 100 works. Once we've created our list and once we've broken out in our segments, we're going to start calling people not to try to sell them anything. The idea here is to get known. This is part of the know, like, and trust aspect of things, and we're going to be building that up. This is the getting to know you part. And we'll continue this a little bit later. I'm probably going to have another podcast on Saturday, so it'll be a nice little follow-up to this one. We'll finish out the rest of the steps. But for right now, we want to connect and reconnect with people. Some of these segments that we've broken into might be people like our past clients. We haven't talked to them in a while. Maybe it's people that have wanted to buy something from us and we just didn't complete the sale for whatever reason. We're going to want to reconnect with all those people. And our Dream 100, we're going to pull them in even further if we can. Any new contacts that we made recently, we're going to try to set a different table with them so where we're not trying to sell them anything. We're just trying to get to know them a little better and them to know us a bit more. So that's a different table that we're setting here from all the rest. As we're connecting and reconnecting to all these people, what we want to do is we want to ask good questions and we want to listen to what they're saying. What's different in their life? I just got off of a lunch today. I hadn't met with somebody in about 4 or 5 months. And we spent the bulk of our time talking about what had happened since the last time we talked. We're getting back connected, right? And a lot had changed in both of our lives. And we needed to kind of hear that and talk about it and explain how things are working better or worse. I mentioned how I was launching this new Randy Bridges Consulting, and this is a person who had worked with me in L5 Consulting. And so now I'm explaining to him why this one is different and how it's different. And I listened to what he said, in response to that, he had some really good questions about how this all works. And so, I'm listening to him and I'm talking about it a little bit, just trying to kind of catch up. And then I turned it around and said, "So, how are things going at the company where you are?" I heard a lot of things that were challenges, so to speak. They were quite different from anything that we had talked about before. I listened to that and I got some good feedback and some good information about what these challenges are that are coming down the pike. And for him right now, a lot of it is just, it's just life. And we talked about life and some of the things that were changing in our lives. And he recently moved away and bought a new house in an area, and it's a big fixer-upper, and he's having to spend a lot of time getting that up to date. Plus, he also has a rental house. And that speaks highly to the fact that we've established a good connection over the time that we've known each other to where he can actually share that kind of stuff. And that's good. I'm not telling you his name, so, it's if he ever listened to this, he'd be like, well, that's me he's talking about. But anyway, one of the last things that you want to do when you're trying to reconnect with these people, is part of the getting known aspect of things, is you want to ask them if, offer to help with anything they may need. Now, that doesn't have to be something that you're going to get paid for. Maybe it's a referral. Maybe he knows somebody that might need something, and I'm more than happy to go ahead and help him. But the offer to help goes out to extend yourself. This is where the like and the trust kicks in. And you get known in this phase, and you start that transition into the like and trust. You might volunteer. It's nothing hard to say, hey, that sounds like a lot of work. Who do you have helping you? Well, I have this guy and he's blah, 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 blah. Well, if you run into a real pinch, give me a call. I'm willing to help you right out there. And we'll move things around to make it happen, to do whatever you need to get done. He's going to know when he takes me up on this that he owes me something, right? I don't want this to be my motivation, though, and I don't recommend that you do that. Keeping score is different for everybody, okay? And sometimes keeping score isn't necessary. Keeping score a lot of times creates a bit of conflict between you and this other person, and it would tear down the like and trust aspect of getting into the prospecting, and it would not be a good thing to really go through that. Is start keeping score on things. Let the other person do that if they want. And you have to understand that when you're working with people, if you're trying to keep score, that's going to be a problem. Everybody knows that as we're doing this, our real motivation is just to get out there and get known. And that's what your prospecting is all about. When we go into emailing people, and more than just a single email, right? We're going to set up a drip campaign in marketing, and we're going to have them go through a drip of maybe 5 to 10 emails that are simply going to, encourage them, hey, here's what's going on, this is what's happening, and if you're interested, here's how you get a hold of me. Those types of email drips are good, but they fall into that email list segmentation. So that'll be down the road a little bit. That'll develop our trust as we're, being conscious of their time as we're going through and doing what we do. The prospecting is not really hard. The motivation is to get known. We'll get into the like and trust later, but like I said, when you start offering to help and you find their challenges, now you're beginning to transition into the next phase, which is the like. What can I do to help you get what you want? And the Dream 100, for those who, I don't know if I've really talked too much about it, but this is the point, after you haven't seen them in a while, that you might send them some lumpy mail, right? You take a package and you put something in it that's kind of cute and funny, or that person, like something. They're maybe I don't know. Let's say that it's a woman and she's a connoisseur of a particular type of soap, and it's hard to get. And you run across it, and you take it, and you send it to her with a handwritten note that says, hey, found this, knew you like this, and just thought you might like to have a little bit more. Thanks. And that's it. Sign your name. There's a lot of goodwill that comes in that. And that's part of the like. And that's where offering to help and finding their challenges, you can dig that out. In the Dream 100, you're trying to establish a connection without being overly blah, I'm going to have to do something crazy for you. A lot of this all depends after you've gone through this first phase of prospecting. A lot of this is going to set the tone for later on as you transition through these. And you may find that people go to trust very quickly and a lot faster than you. Sometimes you may go to trust quicker than they do. And so you have to be watching the body language. Are the eyes widening? Are they a little afraid? Are their shoulders stiffening up? What's happening with them? Or are they more relaxed? They're talking with their hands a lot more. Are they more relaxed, more receptive? The trust begins to build. And it's based on like. And many of these types of things with the Dream 100 are establishing the like and the trust so that they do trust you. You heard them. What they said was something, or what they did, or what they wrote was something that looks like a particular thing that they would want, and all of a sudden they get it in the mail. It's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever really looked on Amazon, but everybody has a wish list. Everybody that buys on Amazon with an account has a wish list, and you can put things in there and tell everybody else, hey, these are my wish list things, and all of a sudden they may just show up in your mail, get delivered to your house or your business or wherever. But at the same time, we're trying to personally get known here. So if you like something and it shows up in your mail from the person, you're more than likely to like that person. So this Dream 100 process begins transitioning out of the getting known, and you start now looking for different directions. And we'll talk more about that in the mechanism itself of getting to the like part of things and the Dream 100 and building things. You're establishing more than just a simple communication channel. You're establishing leverage, and you're establishing, for what's better or worse for it, points. And everybody can work together then on a shared platform of getting known, getting liked, and being able to trust each other. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off about halfway through the topic. This is Randy Bridges for the Budding Entrepreneur. Signing off, I'm wishing you the best in your health, your wealth, your family, everything about you. Take care, and I'll be back on Saturday to come up with the second half of this, and we'll talk a little bit more. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. My email address is rb, like Randy Bridges, at randybridgesconsulting.com. And you can go ahead, and if you have any questions, I'll reply as quickly as I can. And if you have some specific needs that you want to discuss or some challenges that prospecting is creating for you, feel free to go ahead and put those in there too, because we all can use a part of this where we contribute to others, not expecting anything in return. Okay? So, once again, signing off. We'll see you on Saturday. Take care. Bye.